What's up, guys? Maestro Megatron here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video's gonna be a good one. Something to really make you think about, something to really make you analyze things. Today's video is about the fact that we're gonna discuss and analyze this. The fact that Jason originally died in Friday the 13th Part 3. It wasn't in the final chapter. He originally died in Friday the 13th Part 3. Now, hear me out. We all know that he didn't drown as a boy. It's obvious. All the fan theories, all the Friday the 13th theories, it's obvious he was already full grown in the original Friday the 13th, helping out his mom with the heavy lifting, throwing fucking people through the windows, helping her with kills. It's evident. So, he didn't drown as a boy, okay? He was a full grown man in the original Friday the 13th. He obviously didn't die at the end of Part 2. Yeah, Jenny shoved the machete through his collarbone and his shoulder, and he fell down. But at the beginning of Part 3, you see that he has pulled the machete out, and he's starting to crawl away. Okay, so he's alive and well. Goes to the diner/store, and changes clothes, blah, 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 blah. Now, okay, so yeah, it's obvious that he's still alive. What's really cool about it is in Part 3, he succumbs to all the injuries that he sustains from the battle with Chris at the end. She stabs him in the leg. She busts him in the back of the head with a big old fire log. She dumps a whole bookcase and books on top of him. She stabs his hand. And she hangs his ass. And snaps his neck. And to put the kibosh on everything, she drives the axe right into his head. That's how he gets the famous slit, the famous indention in the hockey mask. Slams it right in his head, then he falls down dead finally. And he is dead. Let's think about this. Let's analyze this. Jason actually died at the end of Part 3. Because if you think about it, at the very end, you see him laying in the barn after the police take her away. He had obviously and apparently been laying in the barn with the axe in his head all day in through the night. Because if you remember at the beginning of Final Chapter, it's not till later on that night that the police came, the ambulance came, the coroner show up to collect his body and to collect all the other people's bodies that he had slaughtered, sliced and diced and chopped up. But yeah, Jason had been laying there the whole freaking day, dead and night. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's just my personal opinion, and I challenge you to analyze it. Jason originally died in Friday the 13th Part 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. But he's alive when he's in the morgue. Not necessarily. Here's where it gets interesting. I think the spiritual aspect of Jason had already left his body, left his soul, if he had a soul to begin with. But I think the spiritual aspect of Jason had already left from the time that he got the axe buried into his head, from the time he got to the morgue. So that right there brings up another good concept and another good theory and another good discussion. In fact, if you ask me, Jason had already started to become zombie Jason in the final chapter. Let's analyze this. By the way, Ted White plays Jason in Friday the 13th final chapter, does a great job. The look of Jason in the final chapter is great. But go back and watch clips, go back and look at pictures, go back and watch the movie. If you look at Jason really close after Part 3, after he's dead all day and night and then comes back to life in the morgue, his skin is already graying up. It's already turning a dark gray, like a dead matter gray. His hands are dark gray. His nails are long, monstrous, and black. I mean, like the scene where he crushes the guy's skull in the shower in the final chapter. Look at his hand. It's gray and monstrous and zombie-like, with big, long, black, monstrous zombie nails. Jason had already started to become zombie Jason in the final chapter. So that furthermore confirms my belief that Jason originally died in Friday the 13th Part 3. Chris had successfully killed Jason Voorhees in part 3. He succumbed to all his injuries. She fucked him up throughout the whole last 15, 20 minutes of that movie. You know, like I said, hanging him and then, you know, plunging the axe into his forehead. He was dead. Just my opinion. Just my analysis. Think about it, guys. And again, I challenge you, watch the final chapter. Look at the gray color skin. Look at his hands. Look at his monstrous black long nails. He is a zombie Jason already. And that's how I think he came back to life in the morgue. The spiritual aspect left Jason's body, and he had already become a zombified Jason. Not completely, but he was decaying. He was already becoming zombie Jason, even before part 6. Now I know what you're about to say. Yeah, part 6, when the lightning strikes the fence, the iron gate that Tommy shoves into his body in his grave and brings him back to life. Yes, he is zombie Jason, but he's even more zombified Jason brought back from the dead again. So, but in final chapter, in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, he is already a zombified Jason. Just go back and look at what I'm talking about. The skin tone, the monstrous black fingernails, the monstrous hands, the way he moves, the way Ted White portrays Jason in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is great. He's very durable. He actually runs in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. He's very durable because Chris and Corey Feldman put him through hell and a lot of injuries too. Gets a TV smashed on his head, gets stabbed in the leg again. She pounds on him and beats him with a hammer, but he's more durable in the final chapter than he ever was in Friday the 13th Part 2 and in Friday the 13th Part 3. The spiritual aspect had already left his body at this point. He was already becoming zombie Jason. And then, of course, at the very end, you know, and you could come up with your own assumption on this and your own theories. He gets the machete to the head by Corey Feldman. After Corey Feldman gets his attention, Tommy Jarvis, after Tommy gets his attention, he turns around because Trish smacks the hockey mask off, and then, I'm sorry, it wasn't Tommy. Trish smacks him upside the head with the machete, and he falls down in a skull, and his head slides down the blade. And if you really look at that part, like half his scalp and his head is like loosely slicing off his skull. It's freaking great. Why I'm bringing this part up, is even after that, with the machete embedded into his damn head, when Tommy looks down, when he's hugging his sister Trish, you see his hand moving. Tommy sees his hand slowly moving. He still wasn't dead. Not like he was at the end of part 3 with the axe embedded into his fucking head and laid there all day and night dead. See, he's already zombified Jason. That's more proof to my theory. That's more proof to my assumption here. So yeah, you see his hand slowly starting to move. So that's when Tommy goes buck nutty and he's like, grabs the machete and then strikes him 17 fucking times with the machete, screaming die. That obviously does him in, zombie or not. Must have smacked him in the head a few more times or whatever, but yeah, strikes him 17 more times with the machete, and then, of course, officially dead. At that point, I guess you could say he's officially dead, but I think he officially, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, if you analyze what I'm talking about, I think he officially and originally died at the end of part 3, and already started becoming zombie Jason in the final chapter. Go back and watch everything that I'm talking about. Go back and look at Jason. Go back and look at his skin tone. Again, his hands, his black fingernails, monstrous black fingernails. Just go back and look at it and think about it. So yeah, Tommy did him in finally with the 17 strikes with the machete, and the machete, his head sliding down the machete blade. And if you notice, they did Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Was not Jason. It was fucking Roy Burns. I fucking hate that movie. But so, yeah, Jason was officially really fucking dead at that point. So, but he didn't come back again as even more powerful zombie Jason again. In part 6, Jason lives after the lightning strikes the iron gate rod and brings him back to life like Frankenstein. Because Tom McLaughlin, the director of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives was a big Frankenstein fan. That's what inspired him to do the beginning like that and bring zombie Jason, who was already a zombie, already turning into a zombie, and the final chapter comes up from the grave, comes back from the dead. But yeah, I challenge you to go back and analyze and look at what I'm talking about. He originally died in part 3. And the spiritual aspect of him already came out of his body in the morgue in the final chapter, and then there we go. We've got, and that's another question: how did he get back to the camp so quick from the morgue? I mean, it's obvious the morgue was in the outskirts of, in the outer skirts of Camp Crystal Lake, obviously somewhere in a town or the city. I'm pretty sure Camp Crystal Lake there in New Jersey had a city or a town that was, But anyways, that explains how he got back to the camp so quick. Because you're like, oh, what do you do? Take a car like Michael Myers? No, again, the spiritual aspect had already left Jason. There was already a supernatural element to Jason at this point. He already had a supernatural element anyways, hence the way he pulled out the machete from his collarbone and crawled away at the end of part 2. Hence the way, because there's already a supernatural curse on Camp Crystal Lake anyways, which I'll talk about that in another video, and other YouTubers have talked about that in other videos as well. It's just the whole camp and the whole lake has a supernatural element to it anyways. That's the only thing to explain the whole Jason lore and him coming back to life and not drowning if he did drown. But yeah, I challenge you to go back and watch the whole ending of part 3 again. All the injuries that he dies from, all the injuries he has sustained from Chris at the end. The axe to the head, he literally laid, according to the timeline from Friday the 13th Part 3 to the beginning of a final chapter, he had laid there all fucking day and night before the coroner and the paramedics came and picked him up and put him on the gurney. Because in Part 2, he obviously didn't die. He obviously didn't die, because he immediately, at the beginning of Part 3, you can already see that he has pulled out the machete from his collarbone and crawls away. So yeah, I think I'm onto something here. The zombified Jason begins in a final chapter. He originally and technically died for real this time at the end of part 3. It's just a cool concept to think about. You guys tell me. Let me know in the comments what you think. It all goes back to the supernatural, how did he get the supernatural element in him? When did he become zombie Jason? I don't think it was in part 6. I think he started, if he hadn't already, he started to become zombie Jason in Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. So in my opinion, honest opinion, hopefully you guys go back and, do your research on it like I have. And my personal opinion, my honest opinion, due to my evidence of watching these movies all these decades, I think he technically and officially and originally died at the end of Friday the 13th Part 3. Just go look at everything that I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure you will start to agree with me on this. He originally and technically died at the end of Part 3. So the supernatural aspect leaves Jason's body after that. Like in Jason Takes Manhattan, he's able to morph and appear and reappear in different places, which it gets real fucking stupid in those sequels. But it's just something to think about. I think I'm correct on this. I don't know. And breaking the fourth wall on this, by the way, because, these are breaking the fourth wall videos. Breaking the fourth wall, I wonder if the writers and the directors, Joseph Zito directed the final chapter, and Tom Savini had something to do with the writing and all that. I'm pretty sure Breaking the Fourth Wall, the writers had in the back of their mind that the spiritual aspect and the zombie Jason had begun in a final chapter. They just didn't come out and touch on it in the storyline. They didn't come out and have any characters bring it up. I think Breaking the Fourth Wall, that's already what Joseph Zito and the producers had in mind in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I really do honestly think that. I think that's what they had in mind, Breaking the Fourth Wall. They just didn't delve into it. They didn't touch base on that. So I think what they wanted to do, breaking the fourth wall once again, is make you assume and figure it out on your own that, yeah, he's officially dead. He died in part 3. Here he is as zombie Jason. I really honestly think that's what they were going for, breaking the fourth wall. And it makes my analyzation of this whole situation in this video correct, if that's what they're doing. If I'm correct on the breaking the fourth wall part 2. But you guys let me know in the comments. By the way, if you guys are liking this video, please hit the like button. If you're loving this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're in love with this video, join the members only. Join the membership. Be a member of the channel. Join the membership packages that I offer. I offer all kinds of membership perks. I do Saturday night members only trivia, but it's for members only. I give away cash prizes. I give away Friday the 13th and Halloween action figures, merchandise, blankets, shirts, all of it. I signed autographed pictures. So yeah, check out my membership packages and what I have to offer, but you have to be a member of the channel. But yeah, just think about what I'm talking about. I think it's a very good concept. I think it's a very good breaking the fourth wall analyzation, that the fact that he actually did die in part 3 and started to become zombified Jason in a final chapter, because he's just too durable in it. He's more durable in, I know he's more durable in the other movies to come, so, and beginning with part 6, part 7, part 8, and beyond that point. But he's even more durable than he ever was in part 2 and in part 3, because he's already becoming zombie Jason. I know I already covered it, but I'm going through it again. Look at everything that Chris and Tommy Jarvis did to him in the final chapter. Just durable. He was more durable. He was faster, quicker, recovered from his injuries, recovered from his battle wounds more quickly than the previous 2 movies that he's in. So, but yeah, I challenge you, go back and watch clips. Go back and watch the end there. Go back and just watch the whole damn movie, because Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is a fantastic freaking sequel in the Friday the 13th franchise. But I hope everything I'm telling you about on this, breaking the fourth wall and coming to my own conclusions and my own analyzations of the video, I hope you can see what I'm talking about, and I hope it helps you better to understand that, yeah, he originally died in part 3, came back to life in the morgue, spiritual aspect left Jason, and started to become zombie Jason. I mean, just, like, again, go back, watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter, you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyways, that's about all I got on this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments if you believe what I'm talking about from part 2 to part 3 to the final chapter of him becoming zombie Jason already before part 6 Jason Lives. Let me know if you think I'm correct. Let me know if I've missed something. There might be something in part 3 and there might be something in the final chapter that I might have missed, a concept or a theory that I might have missed that you guys have picked up on through the years or through the decades of watching Friday the 13th, the final chapter, or even part 3. Let me know in the comments if I missed something to really help this conclusion, this analyzation that I'm doing. But again, breaking the fourth wall, I think they, in their minds, in the back of their minds, they had written it like this on purpose to show that he was no longer any kind of human being, which I don't think he was really a human being to begin with, some kind of monstrous demon, supernatural being to begin with, but he was able to die. He was able to get hurt, able to die. But I think it completely left him at the end of part 3 when he originally and officially died, my opinion, and then came back to life in the morgue as an already starting to zombify and decay Jason Voorhees. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments if I missed something. Let me know in the comments one of your ideas of maybe what I'm talking about, or maybe you got your own idea of what really happened between 3 and a final chapter. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, hit that like button. If you love the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're in love with this video, check out my membership packages. Check out my membership perks. Until then, guys, this was a great video to do, breaking the fourth wall. Good theories, good analyzations, good concepts. But again, till then, stay scary, stay spooky, and watch out for the boogeyman in Zombified Jason.